Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 are four-player co-op survival games. The first one came out in 2008. The second one just a year after, 2009, adding a bunch of improvements. It's revolutionary for its time because of the AI director and how the campaigns play out as a result. The question is, does it hold up? Lots of these types of games have come out across the several decade-plus years. You can pick it up on Windows, Xbox platforms, and Mac OS. A non-class-based four-player first-person shooter. So you have the different characters and personalities that you see here, but the only difference between them is the hundreds of different lines of commentary that you'll hear. Otherwise, everything else is the same. You can pick whatever weapon you want, the items that you pick up. It's just whatever you pick up from safe house to safe house or in between. The trailer, though, does a good job of explaining how the game plays. It shows you the special infected along with the common that they're attacking here and the different items that you have, like the pipe bomb that is sort of a monkey bomb, reminds me of, that attracts the infected, and even gameplay-wise, what happens if you have that character that's inevitably going to run off. It really emphasized the four-player co-op sticking with the group, because what happens is, like, here's the hunter infected. They can incapacitate before killing them, and then the farther away they are, then they take more damage. So really incentivizing to stick around. You have like the smoker you saw earlier with the tongue wraps around. And different types of gameplay too. Like with the tank, you have to all circle around. So really responding and sticking with your group. Here, though, you're seeing the safe house. You start off, you can pick the base weapon you want. You have a shotgun, submachine gun, or the hunter rifle, and these have stronger variants of them. And then your secondary weapon is the single pistol. You can get the stronger double pistol that you see I have here. Along with that, you have your item like a grenade, your pipe bomb, and then your medicine that you can have. So you see some, I don't have the medicine. That's why it's kind of grayed out there. After you're all set to leave the safe house, time to battle the infected. The most common you'll fight against is the common infected. There I got sprayed with a bloater. The common, though, you don't know where they're going to spawn or how many they're going to be. They'll be shambling, kind of walking outside your safe house, and then you might have a horde group kind of on the side. Along with that, you got special infected sprinkled in. These are all randomized, too. You don't know where they're going to be at. Sometimes you'll encounter a bloater. Sometimes it'll be a hunter, a witcher, a tank, that kind of thing. Tank seems to be the least common, though. But you really want to be sticking with your group. You can hear the special affected from afar, but even venturing off a little bit, you saw me there, I get snagged by the smoker. Different strategy for, though, the special infected. Here I have the witcher. You're supposed to be avoid, not shoot them, but I shot her. So then she takes you out right away, and your teammates have to help you. You can really lose your health quickly and die from the witcher. Contrast to this would be the tank that you have to take out that has a lot of hit points, and you're all supposed to kind of circle around. After you get far enough, though, into the campaign, there's usually an event where you touch a button, kind of here I'm going up a lift, and there's a horde event where you're fighting a constant stream of zombies for a while. Stuff to help you. You have like a turret, a Gatling gun, once you get farther into the campaign. They're all separated, though, different themes. You have like a airport, a rural farmhouse thing, and then the first one in the hospital. So a good variety, again, taking place in the northern United States. Towards the end of the campaign, though, it's the big, massive holdout. Here you have your ammo, your health, and any extra items that you want, and hopefully upgraded weapons. As you go from safe house to safe house, you keep the weapons if you don't start from a chapter that's towards the end. The combat in Left 4 Dead is very fast and frantic. You can't aim down your sights, and your ammo pickup is infinite, but then you only have what you have on you for ammo. Once that runs out, you got to go to another pickup. The single-player campaign, no one can join you, but you're able to pause your game. Campaign mode, you can play with other people. You can kind of cycle in bots or real people. Versus, you get to play as special infected, again, across the campaign. Survival is a classic survival type of mode. Not really built for it in the same way, but you can play it. Again, it's fast and frantic, so it's more about the time that you survive. But I noticed with like some of the games, there's an area you can run around. But here you have the infinite supply. Like I'm in the airport, and behind the desk there I have my Molotov cocktails, my health kits. I can keep replenishing my ammo. It's more about when you get overrun rather than like a survival where you have to conserve or you run out of ammo. versus mode. Here I'm playing as a hunter. It can function exactly the same as the campaign, except real people up to 4 are controlling the special infected, and then they spawn after a time. And these are like randomized. You get different random infected. There's a bloater. You probably saw the outline there on the side. I found this to be pretty difficult to play against because human players controlling it, it's much more difficult, but still fun to play as kind of a diversion. And you can do what you want. You can play in the campaign with bots, so you don't have to deal with other people. You can pause the game. You can play with real people, a little more stressful. Then to max it up, you can play with real people in the versus special infected to have the highest challenge. But there are the different difficulty modes that you can play in both games. Similar to Left 4 Dead 1, it also has a trailer for Left 4 Dead 2 that explains how the game plays, assuming a little bit that you know the first one. In particular, the Special Infected. One of the new ones you see is the Charger that can grab one of your players and just kind of incapacitate him. Also the Jockey that kind of moves him around away. And then the Spitter that spits a kind of a pool of acid. So they don't replace any of the Special Infected. They are added to the base ones. So Left 4 Dead 2 does a build-upon approach. You have all the base stuff from the first game, but you have more infected, you have melee weapons now, additions to the ranged weapons, not just the base 2. There's also attachments, and more items, not just the health pack and the pills. You have different variants of that as well. Along with more in terms of gameplay and an improved AI director, there's more game modes. So you have a realism for each mode that makes it more difficult, where you can't see the outline of your other players, making it harder to kind of stick together. Now, the survival mode has a versus mode, along with different maps, of course. Scavenge, you're seeing there, that's just you return gas cans to a specific point. And lastly, Mutation, which is a one-player mode fighting Special Infected when I was playing it. Honestly, I can't believe how old this game is and what it has in it, like with the bots, the gameplay mechanics, even the AI, how campaigns play out, and just the focus on the gameplay of it. There isn't any bloat in this. There isn't something to like a meta progression where you're upgrading. There's a difference in weapons that affect the playstyle. Like here I have the hunting rifle that I can more silently kind of take out some of the enemies. The environment is reactive, closing doors. Doors gradually break apart. Even when you shoot the zombies, parts will fly off. And the gameplay, it's like the fast frantic, you can't aim, it's not as precise, which I kind of prefer that with the Call of Duty a little bit, but even so, it all kind of comprehensively works together. By crouching, you're sticking together more, there's kind of pros and cons, but you're slower so you can't run away. So there's a lot of that, and then just going through the campaign, having the Special Infected there really keeps the group together. And you'll still have people run off, but then they'll, instead of nothing happening, they'll die, and everything is thought of. Even players dying, you can resurrect them. If a player happens to leave, fortunately you have the bot there, so the game will keep going. And even just like the little things, like falling off the side, you get incapacitated. So each area of the map is also well thought out, and there's consequences for just kind of going off immediately, randomly doing something. And the best part about it is, even though it is an online multiplayer game meant to be played that way, thanks to the bots and the seamless transitioning with real players playing them, I played probably like at least half the game with bots, and a lot of time I didn't even notice someone joined or someone left. Yeah, it easily holds up, and this is a no-brainer to buy. It's very cheap. It not only holds up, I would say it surpasses a lot of the games like loosely within the same genre. I mean, they're not exactly like Left 4 Dead. This is a campaign where you're going from level to level. That's the meat of the game, apart from the other game modes. But just with how everything functions and the thought that goes into it, you don't have this with games anymore. A lot of the other like horde mode type of games, and there is those elements here. You have a lot of flaws that make it repetitive, that make it boring, whereas with this you don't. And I'm not even a big fan of the fast-paced gameplay, but I still had fun. So it's $10. If you buy Left 4 Dead 2, you get the Left 4 Dead 1 levels, but it is with the Left 4 Dead 2 game mechanics. So you have like a special infected. So if you want the best experience, you could buy both. They're each $10 if you want to go cheap. Just get Left 4 Dead 2 for 10 bones. But if you like this video, please give a like. If you really liked it, consider subscribing, and I will see you next time.